As the theme of this today's first day of the workshop is on the MATLAB. So first slighter note on that are there. So whenever we are talking about this A and this A, that's a very important physical meanings of this. So whenever we are talking about whether we will read this MATLAB as so much importance than of the C+ programming, or as compared to the Java programming, or as compared to the Python. Is Dr. Garg, working in the School of Mathematics, Thapar Institute, India. You can contact me. Either of my email IDs are there, which are mentioning at here. What is the MATLAB? So I hope all of you are familiar with this MATLAB before this lecture. So the MATLAB, what is that? This MAT, it is called as the matrix, and LAB is called as the laboratory. So that means everything, whatever you want to write in the MATLAB is in the form of matrix. So is in the form of the matrix. For example, if I write this as a 4, simply x is equal to 4, then it is not a point. It is not a value. You have to read this value as 1 cross 1 matrix. So the first basic fundamental of the MATLAB, if you want to learn, is always think anything, whatever you want to write in the MATLAB is in the form of the matrix. So if you want to write, like say x is say my 1 and 2, both the values are there. So you have to read this 1, 2 as a 1, 2 matrix. That is, x is a 1 cross 2 matrix, which consists of the values as 1 and the 2. So what is the MATLAB is that? MATLAB stands for the matrix laboratory. And since it is a laboratory are there, so they have so many tools which are used for the numerical computations. But make sure that whatever you want to write in the matrix laboratory, you have to deal this with respect to the matrix or the vectors. So vector, all of you know that vector is either as a single column or as a multiple column. So once you call as a single column, what is the meaning of this single column? It means either is as a row matrix or called as the column matrix. I think all of you know that what is a row matrix? That is a n cross 1. What is a column? Sorry, 1 cross n. And what is a column matrix is n cross 1. Also, the MATLAB will help you to integrate the several features like computation, graphics, programming in the same environments are. So you don't have to look for the another environments are. Apart from this basic symbols or the basic MATLABs, there are so many advantages are there, but I listed few of them. First of all, it can easy to use if you are non-familiar with the MATLAB. After working out 3 or 4 hours in a day, you can easily learn this MATLAB. It has a very powerful built-in programs are there, all the toolbox. I will show you certain toolbox in this my lecture. So there are so many toolbox are there, like of there, if you are using the simulation in your research, then you can use the toolbox of the simulation. If you are using the differential equation, then you can use as a toolbox of the differential equation. If you are working on the Monte Carlo simulation, or if you are using the partial differential equation, or any of the engineering tools are there, you can use as like of the signal processing. Medical students have well familiar about the DSP or image processing. All have their basic toolbox are there. You can utilize them. Another advantage is that you have the good visualization of the results, and most of them it is a very well popular in your academic as well as your industry experience. But there are some certain drawbacks also. So sometimes it is slow. Why it is a slow? Because the size of this MATLAB is a very high. It is mostly in terms of the 6 GB and here. And the most important drawback is that it is for the licensed version. You can't use as a free of cost, because if you use as a pirated MATLAB version, and if you write the research paper or dissertation or any of the thesis, and you mention that we have used the MATLAB, and if you mention in your research papers, dissertation or the thesis anywhere that you are using the MATLAB, but you are using the pirated version, then it is a crime. Then the MATLAB owners or the companies will put up a file against you for using the pirated versions. So there are the certain advantages and the drawbacks. These are some evolution of the logos related to the MATLAB. It is started in the 1964. Stanford is there. This is the first logo used for the MATLAB. This is the first logo are there. After a 4 year, that University of the Missions is upgrade this logo to be here. And in the 1985, this MATLAB 1.0, that's the first version of the MATLAB is there. It looked like say here. After this 1985, that is after the 2 years, 1987 MATLAB 3.5 version will release, and after the 1992 there is a colorful versions are released and called as a MATLAB 4.0, and 1994 MATLAB 4.4, and later on the MATLAB 5.0 version logo used everywhere for the MATLAB area. And we are using for the 1996 MATLAB 5.0 logo. Now the question arises is why we use the MATLAB for programming. There are so many toolbox are there which you can use that. You can see I have used this as a logo, which is the latest one. So as I show you in this next station, you can easily draw the beautiful graphs. You can see their accuracies. You can see there is a simulation results are here. These are my simulation results. So the why we use the MATLABs are there. The first one is it can be easily algorithm developments are there. You can tune your algorithms as you want in this MATLAB programming. It can also use for the simulation purpose. It can also use for the modeling are there. You can also explore and visualize your informations or the data collection, and you can analyze your data with the help of the statistical techniques all at the single platform. Apart from that, there are several engineering design problems like of the engineering graphics and the scientific computing, which you can use them into this MATLAB toolbox or MATLAB's interface. And the one of the most important feature is the graphic user interface, that is a GUI. Sorry, a graphic user interface that is already an inbuilt interface in the MATLAB. So you can take their benefits for improving your results as well as their presentations. Now, the next question arises is that's fine. Why we use the MATLAB because of these certain features. But what is a MATLAB system are there? Why the MATLABs are important, that we see, but what is a MATLAB system? So the MATLAB system consists of these 5 features. First one is the MATLAB language. As I discussed that this is nothing but my matrix laboratory. So anything which you have to written in the MATLAB is in the form of the matrix. It is a working environment. You can handle the graphics easily. You can inbuild the functions also, that we will see in our day after tomorrow lectures are there, how you can define the functions library, and you can use the inbuilt interface program. Now, this is the graphic, this is the interface of the MATLAB versions are there. How you can see that, let me show you on this MATLAB window. Say this is the MATLAB window you have seen when you open your MATLAB file, and you can see here there are the, I denoted this is my 1, this is my 2, this is 3, 4 and 5. Now what are the meanings of these 5s are there? First one is this is my current folder. It means if you are writing your program, where its folder is there, whether it's written in, whether it's saved in the desktop, whether it's stored in the C directory or D folder, and many more are there. You can see it is a folder out there. Whatever you have written, that will give you about the detail of your program at here. Since the screen is in this here, this is nothing is written. That's why it is a blank out there. This third option is called as the workspace. What is the meaning of the workspace are there? Say if I define as x equal to 5, then what is the size of this? Because remember that this 5 is nothing but my 1 cross 1 matrix. And once is a 1 cross 1 matrix, what is the size of that? It's a KB, it's a byte, or it's a megabytes are there. So what is the size of this matrix? So that's are my workspace. All these sizes are representing here. Also, what is number 4 is, that is called as the my command window. Whatever you want to see the output, it will show you the output is there. It will give you the output. So whatever the output we will see, that will see in this number 4. Now the most important factor is, this is the number 5. This is called as the system, or you can the script, MATLAB script. What is the meaning of this MATLAB script is there? Whatever you have to, that is, you have to write your MATLAB program here. Whatever, say for example, if you want to write as x plus y, then you have to write in this option number 5. And once you will write x plus 5 here, then output will be shown here. The sizes of the x and y will be given here. The directory is given at here, and their details is given to be here. For example, if I show you on here, let's say I define as x is say my 3, simple. And if I firstly save this file, I can save this file. Now I can save this file on say my desktop. Say CU MATLAB. Okay. Now if I have written this file here, I can run this file. You can see one I written here. Now this is a button. This is for the run the command. Or you can press F5 from the keyboard. If you press the F5 from the keyboard, it will run. So once you will see, if I can run this file, now you can see it will, you can see the output will give you here. Now you can see my CU MATLAB folder is in the save in the MATLAB. So this is my current folder. So you will see this folder will change to the CU MATLAB desktop once I will click on this change folder. On the other hand, if you want to click on the add to path, it means the folder will remain the same. It will give you on the path are there. So let me say I can click on the change folder. Now you can see, now I again will click on here. Now you can see these all are my desktop files. You can see x equal to 3. This is my output window. You can see x is appear here. This is my size of there. What is the size of this? Now you can see this 3 is nothing but my 1 cross 1. So you can see x is a single value. So this is the interface for here. Now before we can run this file, the most important thing you should remember that you have to learn firstly what is your MATLAB version. Whether you have to use the 2019 version of the MATLAB, whether you use the 2015 MATLAB version, and many more are there. So how you can check that? You can simply write here as version. Once you will click on this version, then let me write here as a VERSION. You can see I can write as a version. If I just press the enter, you can see I am using currently. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? I am using here as MATLAB 2015 version. 8.5 is the MATLAB are there. That is a version of the MATLAB is my 8.5. As I introduced in the logo of the MATLAB, the MATLAB 4.0, MATLAB 3.5. So these are 8th version of the 5th are there. Now, once you know this is the version of this, but if you want to look about the other configurations, this path, this file does not tell you whether your PC is a 64-bit or 32 bits are there. It is not be mentioned here. Or whether you are using the XP window or the window 10 or any of the, or you can use as a iMac, or either you can use as a Linux are there. How you can do that? Instead of this version, you can simply type as a VER. What is the VER represents that? That is a simply a complete version of this MATLAB you have installed. Like if I write simply as a VER, now you can see all of these files are here. Let me scroll down up. You can see here, once I will write here, let me see. I have write as a version, so it will give you as 2015 as a version it here. This is my license number because I purchased my MATLAB. So this is a licensed version of this MATLAB. This operating system on my PC is a Windows 10 Professional, and it is here. And I am using the Java version of this. And these are the toolbox which I am using here, and I have installed them. So these all are here, version 3.15. All are I'm using simulation, aerospace, antenna, block design, and many more. So this is the simple syntax about that. Now, once you know about their features, now you can since there are so many data are seen on your screen, you can clear your screen like of CLC. You can write the command as a CLC. It will clear your screen like here. How you can check whether your PC is working fine or not related to the MATLAB? Firstly, you can check the date. You can see today's date. You can write as a date. After that, you can write as a clock. You can check what is the meaning of that. You can see this is my date. This is 31st May 2022, and this is the time arc. Okay, so now you can see here what is that 0. This is a 10 raised to power 3. It is not with a 0.1. This is 10 into 3. That means 10 a.m. This means that is a 43 10. Sorry, the meaning of this is my 10:43. This is my second, and these are my current date of this today's one. So I hope this is a simple installation guidelines. You have to firstly check these versions before working on the MATLAB, because sometimes MATLAB will not give you the accurate results. Sometimes the clock and the date are not properly set, and so on. Now, once you are writing here, now I can clear the screen, CLC. You can see here, now I have the two answers. Now you can see here, I have using the clock. So you can see there are so many data. If I click on this ANS, you can double click on this ANS. Excel sheet will appear. You can see here. This is the X is my 1x1. This is only one dimension is there. Similarly, if you click on the ANS, this is my current date, and this is my current time. So this is the 1x6 app. Now, now you are ready to write the MATLAB syntax in the MATLAB file. So let me firstly magnify this window. So here. Let me know still so far, is there any error related to the installation and checking of the data? Fine. Now the thing is how you can write the syntax on your MATLAB. So there are the two ways are there. The first way is you can simply write on the command window, like if you want to write x is equal to 4. What is the meaning of that? The x is equal to 4 is stored in your output file. But if you put up this as a semicolon at the end of this line, it means the output is stored only, not display. Output will be stored only, but not displayed. On the other hand, if you write x is equal to 4 and there is no need to write as a semicolon, then if you press the enter, then output is stored as well as display on the screen. I will show you like of here. If I write here x is equal to 4 only, or say y is equal to 5. If I put as a semicolon and then press the enter, you can see nothing is display on it. But if you write here as a z is equal to 6, I didn't put any of the semicolon, then you can see the output are filing here. Now I define the two variables y and z. Now you can see their variables are there. You can see y and z are there. The values are stored in the form of the 5 and 6. How you can identify that? What is the sizes of the variable y and z, or how many variables you have defined? You can see that how many variables I have defined. There are the 4 variables: ans, x, you can see there are the 4 variables I have defined. One is the ANS, second is the X, Y, and Z. So what are the sizes of these 4 variables? How you can do that? You can write in the command window as WHO. Who? What is the meaning of that WHO? It will give you, that is, it will list all the variables which are you are using. List all the variables in the workspace. As I already told you, what is a workspace is? Whatever they are written here, this is my workspace. So now you can see there are the 4 variables. So if I write here as in the output window as WHO, now you can see there are the 4 variables. You can see there are the 4 variables, but these are the all the variables. But if you want to know the sizes of this, what is the size of this? Is it a 1 cross 3? Is it 2 cross 1? Or this is my 4 cross 7? What are the size of this? This is nothing given to here. So for represent the sizes, you have to put as a S. S is represent for the size. So that means it will list all the variables plus they are putting their sizes as well. Like here, you can see if I write here WHOS, now you can see here, this is the output. This is the answer is the matrix of the, it means this is the 6 elements are there. And you can see the size is my 48 bytes. This is a 1 cross 1, X, Y, and Z. It is my 8 is there. Now, once you are defining your size, how you can express the values like of this? Like how you can define this value X multiply 4 divided by 3 minus of 4. Because I start from the very basic elementary lectures. After that, we can slightly move on the matrix in a very quick manner. How you can write this value? 2 multiply 4 divided by 3 minus 4. So you have to write simply here, like of this. I can simply clear the screen. That is a 2 multiply 4 divided by 3 minus 4. You can simply write whatever you have written in this way. Whatever you have written, you can write simple screen and press the enter. Once you will press the enter, what will happen? Since I am not using the semicolon, so the output will be displayed here. Now you can see the output will display here as ANS. But the important point here is, look at that. What is the size of this ANS? Is 1 cross 6. It means ANS is already stored in your directory. It is already stored. But the new output, the output of this is also be stored in the ANS. So what is the meaning of that? It means this value will override. This value will override this value. Look at that. If I write again WHO, you can see the answers are there, but you can see the size of this because it will override your previous value. If you want to express, if you want to write the another values like of say here, if you want to write this now, if you want to store this as say H, now there is another variable H is defined like of this. You can see the size of the H. How you can write this by default? Remember that in the MATLAB, by default, the answer will be saved in the ANS. By default, the answer will be saved in the ANS. Now, once you are writing this simple syntax in your MATLAB window, so but how you can write the MATLAB script? What is the MATLAB script are there? How you can create the MATLAB script? That's a very simple. Firstly, you have to see. This is your MATLAB window. You can see here, this is a new option. Okay, you can click on this. Now you can see here is the script. You can click on this script. You can click on this new. Okay, then you can see the script are there. Click on the script. A new file will be appears, and this file, this is called as the MATLAB script. What is the meaning of the MATLAB script is whatever you want to write the MATLAB program, you have to write in terms of here. And then you can save your file for the future use. Whatever you have written here, it is not the same. It is not same. So that's why you have to create the MATLAB script. That's why you can save your file for the future purpose. Now, like of here. So this is the simplest form of the script. That is, a script is a file which consists of the multiple lines, like of here, whatever I have written here. These are the line numbers. These are my line numbers. Whatever you have write here, and it will run all the commands, function, and so on. Once you write here, for example, I can write a simple x is my 3, y is my 4, and say z is my 5. Now I want to save this file. You can save this file by clicking on the save. And since I can write, I can create a folder on the say CU MATLAB. So I can write this file as a test file. Now you can run this file. Again, I told you how you can run this file. You can click on this or press the F5 from the keyboard. So you can click on here. You can change this path. Now you can see X, Y, Z are there. So you can see also in the output X, Y, Z. The major portion about that, see, if you write as a 1 by 3, what will be your answer? Your answer is 0.333. You can see here. But this is not the exact answer. The exact answer is my here. How you can increase the decimal? So for increasing the decimal, you have to use the command as the format. And this is always the first line whenever you start with the MATLAB programming. Like here, if I write here as a format long, what is the meaning of the format long is, now if I press the 1 by 3, you can see the output as my here. Similarly, if you write as a 2 by 5, you can see your output will be 0.4. But since I use the format as a long, so your output will be right here as 16 decimal places. All are here up to the 16 decimal places. You can count them, it's a 16 decimal places. However, if you write here as a format short, what is the meaning of the format short is whatever you want to write up to the 4 decimal places. And by default, it is 4 decimal places. Like of here, I again write as a 1 by 3, you can see it is up to the 4 decimal places. If you write again as a 2 by 5, it is as a 0.4 decimal places. But if you want to write your expressions like this value I can write as 10 raised to power minus 1, or this value I can write as 3.3333 10 raised to power minus 1. This is my exponent. How you can write this in the exponent? So that means you have to write as a format. If you want to use as a long, then you can use long E. Once you will put as a long E, then you can see I can write as a 1 by 3. You can see the output will be here. And this part, E of minus 1 represent as a 10 raised to power minus 1. Because once you are working on the matrix or any of the MATLAB sites are there, these are the basic elementary things. You must remember these things are there. Similarly, if you want to write as a format short and E, then it will give you the 4 decimal places instead of the 16 decimal places, like of here format short E. And if you write as a 1 by 3, you can see here. This is up to the 4 decimal places and 10 raised to power here. You can write as a 10 by 3. You can see here. All are written in the exponent form. Now you can see there are so many variables which are seen in your output screen. It is a very blur. How you can clean the screen? There are the 2 ways. One way is that you can see, click on the clear all, and second one is a CLC. There are the 2 options are there. Once you will click on the CLC, it means it will clear the screen only. It means, what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of this only? the only represents that it will clear your screen only, not the values, as well as not the syntax, or you can say not the variables. The variables are stored as such. Like say, if I write here as x, you can see the value of the x is already stored as a 3. So if I write here as a CLC, now the screen is clear. You can again get your answer as x as 3, y as 4 are. But if you write here as a clear all, it will delete your all the values. It will clear your all values as well as your variables. Like if I write here as a clear all, you can see clear all. Now you can see if I put up as a x, now you can see here, once I write as a clear all, it deleted the value of the x as well as the variable also. You can see the undefined variable x. Also, you can see there is no workspace here. Although I have written as a x, y, and z. Again, I can run for you one more time. If I run as a x, y, z, you can see the values are here. If I click right here as a CLC, the screen is clear, but the values are still the same. But if I write here as a clear all, you can see here the output file will disappear. Now there is no x, there is no y, there is no z. Now the thing is how you can define the matrix. How you can define the matrix. Once you will write the any of the syntax, remember that they has a no input and the output arguments. That is, you can simply write whatever you want to write. And once you will click on this, you can run the program from here. As I told you, you can click on this new script for creating the new file. Or if you already have the file, you can click on the open. You can open this file. You can click on the run command. You can export and so on. Now, once you are able to understand a little bit about the MATLAB programming, now you can define the matrix are here. How you can define the matrix? Remember again, whatever you want to write in a matrix, it is in the form of vectors or scalars, or this is nothing but my matrix. What is the meaning of the scalar? That is, if you write here as 1 cross 1, that's a scalar value. If you write here as 1 cross n, m cross 1, or it means this is a vector, or you can say this is the matrix. So whenever you are talking about the MATLAB programming, there are 5 features are there. So I hope all these features will be covered by others also. Other experts are also in this 1 week here. So I will try to cover this the entry command. I discussed this is the entry command till now. Now I will here there is a matrix array like of here. How you can build, how you can run the MATLAB statement. That is the entry commands are. Now we will define the matrix and the array. What is the meaning of the matrix and array? How you can create them? How you can combine? If I have the one matrix, if I have the another matrix, how you can combine them into the another matrix, say C. It can be combined with any of the operations are there. That operation, it may be the plus, it may be the minus, it may be the multiply, it may be the divide, it may be the power, it may be the exponential, it may be the sine, cosine, whatever are there. How you can reshape them? What is the meaning of the reshaping? Say you have the 4 cross 3 matrix are there. How you can change them? How you can change them to be the 6 cross 2? Remember that reshaping meaning how you can change the size of the matrix to be the other one. But one important property behind is that what is the length of this? This is a 4 to 12, and make sure this is again with the here. You can reshape them into the 1 cross 12. You can reshape them as a 3 cross 4. You can reshape them as a 2,6 also. But make sure whatever the product of this and the same are. What is the rearranging? What is the rearranging is if you have a 2 cross 4 matrix, how you can change them to be the 4x2 matrix. What is the indexing means? If you have, say, any of the matrix are there, any of the dimensions, say m cross n, and your target is to find the elements of the 5,7, or you want to construct a 2x2 matrix from here, which consists of, like, say, 3 1 3, like say 3 1 3 9 9 3, or 9 1 9 3. That is a particular element of this. That is the indexing order. So my target is to explain all these 5 portion in this today's session. Let me know till date or till now if there is any doubt, because I am using this again and again in this matrix environment. If you have any doubt so far, you can ask.
Hello students, if you have any doubt, you can please ask, or you can post a message and I'll ask on your behalf to him. Otherwise, sir, you please continue. I'll look at the chats and I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. Now, so as I discussed, once you are working on the matrix, so remember that once you are working on the matrix, you have to remember that the by default answer is saved in there. If you simply write in the MATLAB file as 4 multiply 3, if you are written as a x, then answer will be saved in the x. But if you simply write as a 4 cross 3, the answer will be written in the A and S. I already tell you what is the CLC. I already explained what is the format, and here. That is the most recent answer is already saved in the ANS. It will clear your command window. I will tell you what is the diary in the later on. What is the format? I will tell you, you can use them as a format, either as a long, either as a short, or long E or short E. Now, how you can define the matrix? So let me go on the MATLAB window again, so I can clear the screen like here. So let me write the simple matrix. How you can write the matrix are here. So say I want to write firstly row matrix 1, 5, 9. So it means I want to write as a F1, 3. So make sure this is the first column. This is my A11. This is my A12. This is my A13. Whenever you want to move from the first column to the second column, you have to put as a 1 space from the keyboard. So how, if I say this is my A, so I can write here as a, whatever you want to write in the bracket is a matrix. You can write as a 1, put 1 space from the keyboard, then write another value as a 5, then another as a 9. For example, here, I can write here as A. This is, let me increase the font size, I think, so that it will be visible to all of you.
Sir, it is clearly visible.
Okay, fine. So say I can write as a 1. You have to put as a minimum 1 space to enter the second column. So I put the 1 space as a 5. If you want to put as a more than 1 space, there is again no problem. Like here, I can write here as a 1, 5, 9. Now you can see I put up so many spaces are there. So there is no problem about the space. If you run that, you can click F5 from the keyboard, or else you can click editor here. You can see here as a home, plot, apps, editor. You can click on the editor and click on the run. Once you will click on the run, you can see the output is my here. There is no spacing problem. You can see I can put how many space you want. I can click here as 153. But if you put as a semicolon after this, what is the meaning of that? The value of the A is stored, but it will not be given in the output file like here. You can see, firstly, you have to write here as a format short. I want to write all the decimals. What is the meaning of that? I want to write all the results up to the 4 decimal places. I can clear all the screens. And here, what is the meaning of this is? What is the meaning of this percentage? That is meaning of the comment. Whatever you have written after the percentage, that will only for your own purpose, not be on the output file. So I have written format short ABN. Now, how you can write the another matrix, say 1, 5, 9, and second matrix, second row is say 2, 9, and -3. How you can write that? There are the two ways are there. How you can write that? There are the two methods are there. So I will tell you the first method. I can write here as a B. You can firstly write the first matrix. You can write as a, I can show you just here. I can magnify it. Now, how you can write this matrix? Say I want to write the matrix 1, 7, 9, 11, -1, and 3. There are the two ways. So first one is that you have to put up the first row 1, 7, 9. Now, how you can enter the second row? How the computer will know that it will be on the second row? You have to put the semicolon before this bracket sign. Whenever you put this one, it means it will give you for the new line, or in the matrix is a new row like 11, -1, 3. Once you will write this one like of here, say 1, 5, 7, say 9, -11, or say 7, say 0. So once I will write here, now if I run this file, I can click on this run file. You can see here, output window is here. So you can see my output input file is my B, 1, 5, 7, the first row, 9, -11, and 0 is on the second row. This is the first method you can input this matrix into the MATLAB. How you can do in the second way? You can write this one as a first row, firstly 1, 5, 7, and again press this one. Now you can press the enter, and then write here as this one and put here. But once you will write here like of this, I can show you. I can write here as a C 1, 5, 7 semicolon, and I can press the enter 9, -11, and 0, and bracket is closed. But once I will run this file, you will get the error. Why? You can see that I can run this file. Why it not be error? Usually it will be error. I don't know why it's not be error. So what you can do is you have to put up as a three dots are there. What is the meaning of these 3 dots are there? That is the meaning of the continuation. Say I want to write a matrix. I want to write here as a 3 column, and then you can run this file here. Say another thing is if I write here as a matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, this, say here, you can see
Sir, your volume is not coming now. You are not audible. Harish sir, there is some problem with your audio. You are not audible.
hello.
Yes, sir. Now it is okay. Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, sorry. It's much new.
Okay.
Now, there are the 3 dots you have to written here for using the continuation. What is the meaning of the continuation is like here. If I write this as a matrix here, and you can see it's a very large matrix. If you want to write some more matrix, you can see the text are outside the page width. You can see I start from the matrix D from here, but you can see I can have to scroll here so that it will be visible clearly. So the another way you can do is you can put as a 3 dots and then press enter. So it will not disturb your matrix. You can put anywhere 3 dots, press enter. So it will give you the output like here. Now you can see there is a matrix mismatch. You can see here dimension of the matrix being concatenated are not consistent. Why? If you look about this, I can show you again on the screen. Can you find any of the error in this screen? What is the size of the first row? Is a 3. Second is also be a 3. This is 3 semicolon. This is the 1. This is a 2, and this is 3 after a semicolon. Again be here. First 2. What is the size of the last element? This is the 1 element only, but we have to return as a 3 columns. What about the position of this? It is a missing. That's why it show an error that the size is mismatched. So what you can do is you have to firstly write here as 2 more elements are there. Then it will be show you a proper answer. Another thing is how you can multiply the 2 matrix. How you can multiply the 2 matrix. Say I have the x value as 1, 2, 3, y as say 4, 5, 6. So firstly, I have to store this value in the MATLAB. So I can write here as say x is 1, 2, 3. That is my first row. After that, I have to write as a column. So how you can write that? The first row, 5 is written in the second row. So I can put up a semicolon, 5, semicolon, 6. It will give you the y column as here. So I can write here as a y, 4, 5, and 6. Now fine. Now since I put as a semicolon after this, so once I will run this file, no output will be shown here related to the x and y. But it will save your output. You can see I can write as a x here. I can write as a y here. Also, you can see your command window are there. You can see x and y output will be here. How you can multiply them? Can you multiply x of y? All of you know that this is my 1 cross 3. This is 3 cross 1. So once you will multiply them, it will be my 1 cross 1. So you can simply write here as xy. Or you can simply write in the output window xy. But sorry, x multiply y. You can see x multiply y. If you run this file, you will get answer as a 32. If you multiply them, you will get answer as 32. But how you can multiply them? If I say I have the 2 values x, I have the value as say 7, 11, and say 0. And I want to create a matrix x into y such that I can multiply the first element with the first element of this 7. I want to multiply this element with here and here. How you can multiply them? Because if you look at what is the size of the x, it's a 1 cross 3. If you look at the 1 cross 3, it means in the matrix, this is not defined. Why? Because all of you know that the column size and the row size must be same so that it becomes here. So how you can multiply element wise? Whenever you want to multiply element wise, you have to put the command as a dot star. This dot is represent for the element wise. And this multiply will represent for the multiplication. This represent for the multiplication. That is element wise multiplication. So let's say I want to be say x1 as 1, 2, 3, y1 as say 3, 4, 5. And if I put up as x1 dot y1, and you can see the output as 3. You can see if you take the first element of this, you can multiply with the first element of this. Answer is my 3. 2 multiply 4, 8. 3 multiply 5 is 50. The advantages of this matrix are this dot element is, say you have the value of the x is 0.1 to 0.5 with the step size here, and you want to calculate the x square. How you can calculate the x square? Say, can I calculate the x1 multiply x1? That is my x square. Look at that. It will give you an error. You can see matrix dimension must not agree. So the advantages of this, you have to put as a star. It will give you the x square elements. Similarly, you can divide them. You can take as a element wise. If you want to divide as a element wise, how you can take as a element wise, divide x1 dot divide y1. It will give you 1 by 3, 2 by 4, 3 by 5. And I have using the format. Which one command is? I have using the format short. It means the answer of this will give you the 4 decimal places. So you can see, if I replace this by a divide sign, now you can see, I can put up as a semicolon here. Now you can see only for the 4 decimal places. Why it's a 4 decimal places? Because I am using the format short command. If you are using here as a format long, then nothing is to change. It will automatically be up to the here. So this is the way you can multiply the 2 matrix and here. Similarly, you can use the transpose. That's very simple. If you have the matrix S, you can put as a this sign from the keyboard. It will give you the transpose of the matrix. Like of here, I have the matrix B. This is my matrix B. I can put up as a B transpose. Now you can see this is my transpose of the matrix. Another thing is how you can find. Okay, one most important thing is there. If you have the matrix A, how you can remember that what is the number of the rows? How many number of the rows are there? And how many number of the columns are there? How you can remember that? The one way is that you have to look about this matrix like of here. You have to count how many columns are there, how many rows are there. But the another way, you can simply put up the command as size. Size of the whatever the matrix A. If I write as a matrix A, it will give you the 2 answers. That is called as the M cross N. For example, if I write here as size of the matrix A, you can see A is my 1 cross 3. Look at that. What's the value of the A? It is a 1 cross 3. Similarly, you can write here as a size of the B. The size of B is my 2 cross 3. You can see about. Now, once you will write here as say 2,3, the first value will always give you the row, and the second value will always give you the columns. And if somebody asks you find the number of the rows, so you can simply write here as size of the matrix A, comma 1. What is the meaning of this one is that first position. And if you write here as size of the matrix A, comma 2, that's the number of the columns. For example, here, look, let me check what I have written. Look at that. This is a very large matrix. So if I want to find the how many rows are there, so you can simply write here as size D, comma 1. That will give you the number of the rows. You can see it will give you the 7 rows. If you write here as a D here, it will give you the columns are there. So you can check it that if I put up as a D, it will be as a 7 columns, 7 rows, and the 3 columns are here. Another thing is how you can find the sum of the matrix, like of here. How you can add the sum, like you want to add the sum of here, this here, and also you want to add like here. So you have to put the command as size of A. Sorry, is a matrix D. So you have to put as a size of the D. But the question arises, whatever the answer they have given, either in the row wise or the column wise, you can see that if I write here as a sum of the day, it will give you only 3 values. So can you imagine that? What is the answer? What is that? It will give you the column wise. But how you can find the row wise sum? So again, you have to write the command as this is comma 1 as well as comma. Always remember, students, whatever you have, whenever you have to write as a 2, that will always give you the column. Whenever you write as a 1, it is always will give you the row for any of the MATLABs are there. So you can see if I write here as a sum d comma 1, it means you have to write the row are there. Similarly, if you want to write as a d comma 2, you can see here this is the first row. This is the sum of the first element. You can see this is the 6. You can see here 12 and so on, and you can see here 6, 12 and so on. So this is the one way you can compute the sum. Similarly, if you want to find the average of this, you can write as a mean of this matrix D. Again, you can put as a comma 1 or comma 2 if you want to find the average in the row wise or the column wise. All of you know that if your matrix is m cross n, how you can find the length of the matrix? What is the length of the matrix? That is nothing but the mn. How many elements are there? So the same way you can write as the command of length of the matrix D. So if this is a 7 cross 3, the answer of this is my 21. Another important thing related to the matrix is how you can increase the size of the matrix. How you can say your matrix is my 1, 2, 3, 4, and you want to change them to be the A1 as 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. I want to add as a here. How you can change the size of this? So again, a very simple. What you can do is you have to firstly input this original matrix. How you can input this matrix are there? You can write as a. Now this is a first row. This is 1. This is a first row. Semicolon. Second row. Here now put up. Now what you want to do? You want to add this element 7. What is the element of this? This is my A 3, 3. So you can write here as A. What is the row position is? This is my row. This is my column. So you can write here as rows 3, column 3. If you put up as a element is my 7, and if you press the enter, you will get this as a output. Let me show you. So say HG I can write as 1, 2 and 3, 4. You can see I have written here as HG, which is like of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want to write here as HG 3, 3 as my 7 element. Fine. Now if I press, if you use the semicolon, there is no output display. Now if I press the enter, you can see here is increase the size of this. Similarly, if you want to change them to be like of this 1, 2, 3, 4, and say this is 9, 1. Rest values are my 0. I want to change this matrix. How you can do that? You have to firstly input this matrix A as here. How you can write this value? So you want to add this value. What is the element of this? This is the element of my A 3, 2. So I have to write as 3, 2. What is the value of this is my 1. What is the element of this is? This is my A4, 1. So I have to write here as 4, 1 is nothing but my 9. Once you will enter this, you will get this output. You can see here. I can write again for the say H1 as 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I can write here as say 3, 2 comma 3 as say minus of 3. Now I put as a semicolon, so there is no output display. If I want to write as say 5 comma 1 as say 0 or as say 100. Now you can see 2 comma 3. So this is second row, third column as here, 5 comma 1, fifth row, first element are here. So this is the way you can increase the size of these matrix are here. Now, once you are writing here, I want to, and you can also put up as a reverse side. What is the meaning of the reverse side is, say your matrix is here, this is my H1, and you want to display a matrix A H1 again, which consists of only these values. What is that? This is 4, minus 4, 0, 0. So how you can put up the output, how you can take the submatrix from here? Again, very simple. What is the element of this? Because it's a matrix laboratory, you have to think each element in the matrix form. What is the element in the original way? This is my A 2, 2. What is the element of the minus 4 is? Here, element of this is my 3, 3, 2. Element of this is my 3, 3. That's fine. Now, which row they are working? Row are my 2 and 3. You can see about that. The first position is my row. This is my row. This is my row. And the columns are my second position. And the columns are my 2 and 3 itself. So how you can write this matrix from here? If I call this matrix as A, then you can write at what is the column is 2 and 3. So you put 2 column 3. Okay, what is the meaning of the column? I will tell you. Put up a semicolon. This is the second position. This element is row. And here, what is the meaning of this is? This is my row position. This is my column position. What is the meaning of the semicolon? So you can see if I put up as 1 to 7. If I put as a 1 to 7, it means it will give you the output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you put up as 1 to 2 to 14, what is the meaning of that is? What is the meaning of this? It means the first value will be 1. This, whatever you have to read in the second, this will give you the increment. So it means the second position will be after the 2 increment, 3, then 5, then 7, then 9, until you will get 14 or 14 less. It's at 11, 13. So since after that 15, that's out of the boundary. So it will give you that much output. You can see here. Now, if I again put up as say H1 is here, now I want to put as another matrix A, which is of say first column to the second column, and column is my second column and third column. What is the meaning of that? Can you imagine that? What is the output of this file? How many rows are there? Which row you have to take, first and second? Which column are there? Second and third. So what is the output of this file? 2, 4, 0, minus 4. So you can take this submatrix from this single elements are here. If you want to write, I hope it is clear up to so far. Now another thing is, say you have the one matrix of say 2 cross 4, say you have the another matrix of say again of the 2 cross 4. How you can combine them into a single matrix? How you can combine them? So that's again a very simple. What you can do is, let's say a single new matrix is my C. I want to write as a matrix C. So it means I have to write here whatever the matrix A. This. What is the meaning of these two columns are there? Look at that. That's a very important property. Once you are written here as a matrix, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you write here as this, comma 2, What is the meaning of that? There's a very important property for the programming side. What is a comma? After that, it means this is my column. That's fine. It means this is my second column of here. This is my row. But it is not given about the position, whether it's a first row or second row. It means it consists of all the rows are there. So it means whenever you want to write here, the output will be my second column, all the outputs. On the other hand, if you write like here, say 2 and of this, what is the meaning of that? This is my row, second row. What is the column position? All the columns are there. So what is the output of this second row? 4, 5, 6. So same for here. What is the meaning of this? This is the first element, that's a row. It means all the row element. Second, again, I put a comma. After the comma, it means this is a column. All the comma, that's a column elements, all the columns are there. Again, comma. Now it's a third dimension. So you have to put this element as, say, first element is my A, and this element as my second element is my B. Now, what is the advantages of that? You have to look all these values in a single matrix C, like of here. If I put up as, say, one matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is my 2 cross 3. I written as a B as say 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7. Here. Now you can see my A and B both are there. So I can put up here as all the row, all the columns in the first value as A, all the columns, all this here as of my B. What is the meaning of that? Now, if you want to look about the C, you can see a single matrix C, which consists of two matrices at a single position. This is the way you can combine the two matrices at a single point. This is the one way. The second way is how you can use them, how you can combine this value are there. This is the second method. You can use the inbuilt command as a cat. What is the meaning of this cat is? This is nothing but my concatenates function. How you can do that? The syntax for this is you can see as a cat, whatever the dimension you want, and you have to write as a matrix. But make sure that the matrix have the same dimension. That is a major requirement here. For example, if you simply write here as a cat 2 of A comma B, let's say I can write for here, say X is CAT, 2 dimension, I can write here as a comma B. You can see here, this is my A. You can see here, this first value is my A, this is my B. So the two matrix in the single matrix are there. That's why if you write here as a, then it's A. If you write here as a B, then it's a B. While in the previous phase, there are 3-dimension pictures. Also, if you want to write here as dimension 1 A comma B, what is the meaning of that? You can see their output, cat dimension 1 A comma B. You can see here. Can you analyze that? You can see what is the matrix A is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my A and this is my B in the. What is the meaning of that? I already tell you what is the 1 represents that. That is my row. And in the previous one, what is the 2 represents that? It's a column. So it means the matrix A written the first and the matrix B in the column wise. On the other hand, this one is for the row wise. So firstly, the matrix A is written. Second one is the matrix B is written. Another thing is how you can reshape your matrix. Reshape means like say your A matrix is my 2 cross 3. That is the length is my 6. So you can change them to be the 3 cross 2. You can change them to the 1 cross 6. You can change them to the 6 cross 1 and so on. How you can reshape them? A very simple command is there. The simple command is you have to use them as a reshape. Whatever the matrix A you want and the new dimensions are there. If you want to use as a 3, 2, then you have to write M is my row. This is my column. So for example, here, I can show you for here, say the matrix A is written like this way. I want to use as a reshape matrix A to be say 1, 6. What is the meaning of that? If you look about that, can you imagine that what's the answer of this? You have to reshape about this matrix A. That is, you want to create a new matrix. What is the size of this is 1, 6. That is, all these 6 elements will be in the one row. You can see here, and make sure that elements are always be written in the column wise. 1, then 4, then 2, 5, 3, 6. If you want to write in another form, like of say 3, 2, can you imagine what's the answer of this? Reshape. What is the A is my, sorry, A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I want to reshape A to be the 3, 2. Now you can see here. What will happen? Oh, sorry, I run the file again and again. That's why there is a window problem. Now you can see here, what is the matrix A is? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now once you will write as a reshape, that is a 3 column, 3 row. You can see here, it will start from the first elements are here, 1, 2, and then 5, 3, 6. How you can, there is a one more command that is simply here. What is the meaning of that? If when you are very surprised to see here, what is the meaning of that? That means it will convert into the single column. You can see as a single column. So we have discussed how you can reshape, how you can expand the matrix size. We can multiply the two matrices. Simply we can add them, we can delete them, there is no problem. We can, okay, how you can add a particular row. How you can add a particular row or particular column in the given matrix. Say, again, your matrix is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to add another row. This is my third row. I want to add the third row whose elements are my -1, -2, -3. How you add them? It means your target will be, because I again tell you, you have to think about in terms of the matrix. So your target will be look about the matrix which will be like of this form: 4, 5, 6, -1, -2. It means you want to be add this element. So you have to look about this position. This is A31, A32, A33. So how you want to add them? Very simple. You can write here as this is my -1. You can write here as this is my -2. You can write this as -3. It will give you this answer. This is the first method. This is the first method you can write them. Otherwise, because if this is say 100 cross 1000 matrix are there, then it is not possible. You can write as a 3 cross 1, 3 cross 2, up to the 3 cross 1000. So how you can write in that case? That's again very simple. You can simply write like this way. Third row, you want to add in which column? In which column you want to write the value? You want to write all the column values. So remember all the column. So whenever there is a word of the all the column, you have to use as a semicolon. So what are those values? You can simply write here as, there is a single one line answer instead of here. So if you are a beginner, you can start from this side. And once you will take the more practice, you can simply write from here. Let me show you in the MATLAB window. So if you have the matrix A, so if you want to write here as A 3, 1 is say -1, A 3, 2 as say minus of 3, A of 3, 3 as say minus of 9. Then you can see writing here. But if you want to write here as 3 of complete column, say 0, 0, say -1, say 10. Now you can see it's very interesting are there. Let me show you the screen. You can see here, what is the meaning of that? You already have the matrix A. What is the meaning of this line? That means I want to update the matrix A. Which column I want to update the matrix? Third row. Which column I want to update the matrix of the third row? That's a column. That is all the columns. But you can see that already a third row is present here. So what is the meaning of that? If you write here, then the output of your screen will be this is the first and second row. There is no change in the first and second row. So the third row, it means this value will be deleted and this value will be stored as here. So you can update your matrix at any point of here. You can see the previous values here. You can replace the values here. You can simply replace any of the value. Say 6. It means I want to update the value of 3 to be the 6. So if you press the enter, you can see the values are updated from 3 to the 6. Another thing is how you can solve this matrix AX is B. Say 2x plus 4y plus 3z is equal to 9. X plus y plus z is equal to 3. Minus of x plus of the 3z is equal to 4. You have to solve this system of the equation. All of you remember that you have to think about it in a matrix format. What is the A? If you look about this, 2, 4, 3 here. Y is my 0. This. What is my matrix B is? So it means firstly you have to input these two values in your MATLAB file. So let me input these values. So A, the first row is my 2, 4, 3. So A is my 2, 4, 3. Second row is my 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. And then -1, 0, and 3. This is my matrix A. I can write the matrix B, 9, 3, 4. And these are the column matrix. The first row is my 9. I put the semicolon. 3. I put here as How do you solve this? How you find the value of the X? A inverse B. Okay. So you have to write the same thing. Now there are the two methods again. You have to write this. How you can write the inverse? You can write as a INV of A. What is the meaning of the INV? That is called as the inverse. You can see I have written as the inverse of A. This is my inverse. I can write as a format short so that it will be clearly visible to all of you. You can see this is the matrix A. Now your target is to inverse of the A, that is A inverse of B. So this is stored in the form of the INV of A, Now this is a matrix multiply. You can simply write as multiply B. So I can write here, you will get the required answers. So INV of A multiply B. And these are the required solution of the system of the linear equation. You can also write like of this, that is A inverse B. You can see both the answers are same. I can show you again here, INV of A of B. You can see, let me, yes. Now you can see how you can write as A inverse B. There are the two methods. The first, how you write in the MATLAB. So there are the two ways are there. The first one is you can write as a inverse of A multiplied by B. That is, you can see here, these are the output. And the second way is you can write here as of this. This itself means as of the A inverse. You can see both the answers are same. But if you write here as this, what is the meaning of this line? This means divide. Okay, so can you divide the matrix A with the help of the B? No. Why? Because A is my 3 cross 3, B is my 3 cross 1. How you can divide them? It is not possible. Can you divide the matrix A, say 1, 2, 3, like of here? Can you divide this number of the 2 with the 9? Can you divide this one? Can you divide the another matrix A by B like of this 2 upon 9, 1 upon 3, minus 1 upon 4. Similarly for here 4 by 9, 1 by 3, 0 by 4, 3 upon 9, 1 by 3, 3 by 4. So what is the meaning of that? That means you divide by element wise. So how you can use the element wise? You have, instead of this, you have to use dot divides. You can see if I write here for A, this is my B. If I write dot divide, so the matrix dimension not agree. Why it's happened? What is the size of this matrix is 3 cross 3. This is 3 cross 1. So the first element, first column is divided by here. That's fine. But what about this value? There is no elements are there. That's why it is not possible to divide. One of the most, another most important property in this matrix is Repmat. What is the meaning of the Repmat? REP is called as the repeat. MAT is called as the matrix. Like, say your matrix is 179. You want to write another matrix B, which is of this nature. There are the two ways are there. What is the meaning of that? First way is you can simply input these values as 179. How you can create this matrix B? You can write this as 179 semicolon 179 semicolon 179. That's fine. But if somebody asks you, you can convert this matrix into the 1000 cross 3. Is it possible to you can write this 179 179 in 1000 times? No. So in that case, we need the rep matrix like of here. So if I write here as 4, 5, 6, I want to write as a rep matrix A. How many row I want? Say 5 rows. Columns I have already been there. You can see I have written 5. What is the meaning of that? It means it's a, this 5 means it's a 5 row and the 5 columns. You can see this is my original. How many rows are there? 5. How many columns? This is the first column. This is the second, third, fourth, and 5. This is the repeating of the 5 times. But if I write this value as of this, Repmat A What is the meaning of that? This is represent for the number of the rows. This is represent for by number of the columns. This is column is how many times. So what is the output of this? It will give you only this answer. 5 rows. How many times you repeat in the column? Only one times. That is here. You can see if I write now, you can see only the one up. So based on this, you can write here as even 50. That is, there is no need to write the values again and again. It will automatically be written in the here. Okay. So now I am here. So as I discussed, we already discussed the answers. Clear? What is the diary? As I discussed that, whatever you have the output window, if you put them into the text, you know what is meaning of zeros 2, 4. What is the meaning of that? Then again and again, I tell you that first one is my number of the rows. Second is always represent my number of the columns. It means your target is to construct the 2 cross 4 matrix. Are their elements? The elements are my zeros. Here you can see about that. If I write for you here as zeros 2, 4, you can see.
Hello, excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, students are asking to repeat the diary one part.
Okay.
Because of the breakage of voice, so they skipped. So could you please repeat?
Okay, so what is the meaning of the diary? So as the name suggests, that diary is you always use a diary in your pockets are there. So that is whatever you have to command window. What is the command window? I again repeat, whatever you have seen in your output window, you can see here, this is a command window appears there. Whatever the where your output displays called as the command window, and whatever you have stored here, whatever the output is stored here, you can put them all into the text file. Text file you can see as a what you can say is a notepad. You can write all this into your notepad by writing your diary into this command window file. How you can create a, if somebody will ask you, you can create a 7 cross 6 matrix whose all elements are my 0. So again, you can write firstly as of this form. Otherwise, you can write as a matrix, the first row 3, 4, 5, 6, semicolon, second row, semicolon, third row, fourth row, and so on. So if you want to write in this way, otherwise you can use the inbuilt program called as the zeros. So as I discussed here, zeros 1, 3. What is the 1, 3 represents that? 1, 3 means first 1 row, 3 columns. You can see 1 row, 3 columns will put you as a 3 zeros. Another one is a ones. What is the meaning of the ones? So as this name suggests, ones. Again, because we are working on the matrix side, so you have to put as a row and column here. This is my row. This is my column. So if you put as say my 2 cross 2, what is the meaning of that? What is the output of this? All the elements are my 1. So you can see I can do here are 1. Ones, 3, 7. 3 row, 7 columns. All the values are my 1. Another thing is R, A, and D. I think all of you know that what is the random is there. This is a random number. Random number lies between 0 and 1. And this random number is called as the uniform distribution random number. So if you simply write here as R, A, and D, you can see here. If you have the scientific calculator, You can check the button called as the R and D on your scientific calculator. Whenever you press this button, the answer will always lies between 0, 1, and every time it will give you a new number. Look at that. If I write as a R and D, that is again every time a new number will appear. R and D, R and D, R and D. This is a 1 cross 1 matrix. You can see here. This is my 1 cross 1. This is again 1 cross 1. But if you want to be create a 2 cross 4 or in journal M cross N matrix in which all the elements are my random. How you can do that? Again, a very simple task. What you can do is you can use random, put up as the size of this, say 3,2. It means it will give you the 3 rows, 2 columns, like of here. Random 3,2. Random 3,2 is give you 3 row, 2 columns. If you write again as a 3,2, it will give you another number, not be the same. You can see neither of the number is same. Just wait for a few minutes, students. I will call you. I'm busy right now. We'll talk to you after half an hour. Yeah. Yes, student. So it is my 3 cross 2. So every time, whenever you want to write a random number, you can use here. You can use as a say 3, or say 4,9. You can see here. Every time a number lies between 0 and 1. If you know a little bit about the probability and statistics, you know what is the normal distribution. Then you can create a random number which are based on the normal distribution. What you can do is you can simply use as a random n. What is this n represents? That it represents for my random number based on the normal distribution. Like of this R and D of say 2,3. Now you can see this number may be greater than 1. Can anybody know why it's greater than 1? Because here I am using as a R and A of certain range, and all the answers are always lies between 0, 1. But this R, A, and D, it means it's again a random number, but it is based on the normal distribution. So, and you can see the answers are more than 1. Sometimes it's a more than 1, sometimes it's a negative also. Why it happens so? So the range of the normal distribution is from minus infinity to plus infinity. You can get your answers from minus infinity to plus infinity, any of them. You can see if I put up again as a R and D 2,3, you can see some another numbers are there. If you want to put up as a single number, you can put either as a 1 cross 1, or there is no need to write as a 1 cross 1. You can simply write as here. Okay. What is the true and what is the false? Next one. Say I okay, I think true and false we will discuss here when we are discuss about the loop statement. That will be better sense. Okay, what is the I? I will define you the identity matrix. You all know that what is the I of 2 cross 2? That is 1, 1, 0, 0. So you can simply write here as I of 3. What is the meaning of that? It will give you the 3 cross 3 identity matrix. I 5, it will give you the 5 cross 5 identity matrix. What is the DIAG? DIAG is called as the diagonal matrix. If you want to put up, if I say, I want to create a matrix like of this, 2, 4, 7. Here. Let me clear this firstly. How you can write this matrix? So as I discussed, there are the several ways. The first way is you can write like this way: 2 0 0 0 4 0 and 0 0 7. This is the first way. But definitely it has several drawbacks are there, because if your matrix is my 100 cross 100 size and the diagonal entries are my say 2, 4, 5 and so on, it is very difficult to write in this way are there. So what you can write that, you can simply write the diagonal entries as say 2, 4, 7. These are my diagonal entries and put up here as diagonal of A. This is the first way. Otherwise, you can simply write here as a diagonal 2, 4, 7. That will give you the same answer. You can see if I write you as a diagonal 2, 4 and 6, 3, 4 and whatever is there, you can see the output are my only the diagonal entries are. You can see if I put up one more entry, say minus of 5, you will get here as minus 5, this, and here. So there is no need to write here as a 0, 0 and 0 again and again. So you have to put up here only as the entries. The rest of the values can be written as automatic. Okay, this we already discussed about the Repmat. So you can see here, create an array of all the zeros. One means create an array of all the ones. It's a uniform distribution, random number lies between 0 and 1. It will give you the identity matrix. It will give you the diagonal matrix and here. True and false, I can skip here because otherwise, what is the meaning of the true and false? So say if I define as x is 1, do you remember that? What is the difference between these two statements? These are my two statements are there. What is the difference between them? The first value that is of here, what is the meaning of this? It means 1 is assigned to the variable x. That's the meaning of this. 1 is assigned to the variable x. While this equality means we are comparing x to be 1 or not. That's the only difference between them. That's the difference between them. If you are putting the single equality, it means you are assigning the value of this to be the variable x, or you can say you have assigned the variable x as a 1. If you put up as a double equality, it means you have to check or you have to compare whether x has the value 1 or not. For example, if I say x is my 4, okay. Now if I compare x is equal to 3, double equality 3, what is the meaning of that? It means I am trying to check whether the value of the x is equal to 3. You can see the answer is 0 because it is not true. It is not true. So that means it is a false statement. So that is my false answer. Similarly, you can compare them in terms of the matrix also. Say my x is my 2, 4, 6, 7, 0, 43 and 7. Okay, this is my x. Now if I want to compare x is equal to say 4, does any of the value has a 4? What are the output of this? When you run this file, what are the outputs? Firstly, it will compare this element with here. What is the answer? Is it correct or false? It is a false. The answer will be 0. Next, it will compare this value with here. Answer is again false. It's a 0. This is my correct statement. So it will give you a 1. Next one 0. Next one 0. Next one 0. So that will be the output when you compare x to be the 4. You can see 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. You can see. Also, if you want to check whether x is greater than 3, what are those outputs? If you want to compare here, this is my value of the x. It compare the first element with the here. Answer is 0. 3 is greater than 3. Again 0 because equality is not there. These are the 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1 will be the output R. So that's the meaning of this true and the false statement. Basically, we are using this true and false when we are using for the while loop as well as the for loops are. So you can see it's a logically true or logically false. Okay, so let's say lastly, last 5 more minutes I will take you, and then I will take your doubts are there. Some more inbuilt are, because once you are writing the matrix, then what is the length? As I discussed, if it is m cross n, what is the length of this matrix? It is mn. So if you write this matrix A as 1, 4, 5, and you put up as, say, length of A, can you tell me what is the answer of this? What is the size of this? It is my 1 cross 3. So answer is 1 multiply 3 is my 3. If your matrix A is my 2 cross, I will show you here. Say A is my 1, 3 here, 0 minus this, and this. You can see A is my 3 cross 3. So according to you, what is the length of the A? Yes, it's a. Now why it's a 3? Why it's a not a 9? Let me check you again. If I increase the size of this, now what is the length of this A? So the answer is 4. So it means the answer of this is not be the 3, it's not be here. The length of the largest array dimension. What is the meaning of the largest array? Okay, I will take one more so that it will clear you. 2, 4, 3. Now, how many rows and how many columns are there? It's my 2 cross 4, 2 cross 3. So it means if your matrix A is my 2 cross, or in general, if it is m cross n, then the length is m if m is greater than n, and n if n is greater than m. You can see if it is my 1 cross 3, what is the length of this? Is 3, that's 2. If it is my 2 cross 4, what is the length of this? Is my 4. That's why this word is largest. You can see here. The size of this is my 2 cross 3. So the length is my 3. You can see from here. What is the length of this? 4 cross 3. So the largest length is my 4. What is the size? That's already discussed about that. What is the array size? This is m cross n. This is my size. You can see A is my here. If I put up as a size, what is the meaning of this size is? It will give you the number of the rows and it will give you the number of the columns. So if you look about that, if I put up here, the answer will be 2 cross 3. Another one is n dimension. Look at that. Another one is number of the array dimension. N dimension. So look at that. What is the meaning of that? So if I use again matrix A here, can you imagine the answer is 2? Why? Why? So n dimension represents that the number of the rows. You can see if I put up as a size of the A as random number of the, say, 4, 3, okay, then what is the n dimension of the A? What is the n? Sorry, it's not be the number of the row is my size. Sorry, it's my mistake. N dimension is how many dimension of the variables are here. Similarly, how many array elements or array elements? I think all of you know that if it is m cross n, so number of the array elements are here. So if your A is my here, what is the number elements? NUM number elements of the A is my 12. What is the size of this? Is 4 cross 3. So number elements. Remember the definition is array element. So if you have this 2 cross 3, so what is this represent? This is the element. This is also with the element. This is also with the element. So how many elements are there? This is my 6 elements. So it means the number elements are there. Similarly, first command is is scalar. What is the meaning of the is? Is not for the is, it represents for the is scalar. Can you tell me what is the scalar meaning? As I discussed, there are 2 categories of the matrix, 1 cross 1 matrix, and vector is either the m cross 1, either the 1 cross n, or m cross n. So is scalar, like here. If I write here as a, if I put up as a is scalar, what do you think about that? Answer is yes or no? Definitely no, because a matrix A is not a scalar, it's a vector. So if it is an answer is wrong, so answer will, you can see it's a 0. If you put up as hg, say my 3 is a single element, 1 cross 1 is scalar, answer is yes. Similarly, is sorted, ISSORTED. I think there is no need to explain them. I think you all knows that what is the meaning of this sort are there. That is right in the ascending. So if I write the matrix here, like X is my 3, 5, 6. So answer is X. Is it sorted? Yes, because 3 is less than 5 is less than 6. But if you write here as X is 3 minus 5, 6, is it sorted? No. Because you can see about that 3 is less than 5, that's fine, but it is not be less than of the minus 6. So that's why the answer is my false. And false represent for the 0. On the other hand, it is 3 here. What will happen if you put up as X is 6, 5, and 3? Then if you put up as is sorted, what will happen? Answer is 1 or 0. Answer is again 0, because 6 can't be less than of the 5, can't be less than of the 3. Similarly, here is vector. How you can check that whether it's a vector or not? So again, as I discussed here, what is the vector is? If it is a m cross 1 or n cross 1 are there, then it's a vector. Okay, and the last slide is whether is matrix, like if I write here as matrix A is 1, 2, 3, like of this. So if I put as is matrix of A, so what your answer? Is it yes or no? So definitely say yes, because A is my 2 cross 3. So you can see the answer is yes. But if I write here as say HG is my 4 is matrix HG, you can see again yes. Why say yes? Why? Because it's 4 is itself a 1 cross 1 matrix. Is row, what is that? If there is any row output, is the column is empty. That's the most important command is there. Is empty means you can see what is the matrix A is here. If I define the matrix B is here, this matrix, this representation is called as empty matrix. Remember that. Sometimes student may confuse about that, like of this. This is not an empty matrix. This is not the empty because the size is 2 cross 3. But if you put up as is here, then it is empty matrix. You can see if I put up as a here, what is the value of the B? It's a 0. Is empty B? You can see the answer is yes. But if you look about the empty A, the answer is 0. So such all these commands, this one, all are very helpful once you are using the for loop, once you are using the while loop, and once you are writing your MATLAB code for your own programs are there. Once you are solving the optimization problem, once you are solving the numerical analysis simulations are there, you are definitely using all these syntax to verify your computed algorithms. So I hope you may learn something from this size and their matrices are there. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you very much for the patience.